Hello and welcome to Post Popcorn Picks, the podcast where we here at the Pierce College newspaper talk about the newest releases. I'm Steven Gonzalez, and today we're going to be talking about The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
I'm Victor Filion. I'm pretty excited to be talking about this film today. I wasn't really too captivated by the trailers. They didn't really intrigue me that much, so I wasn't really expecting much going into it, but I actually ended up really liking it. And what is the film about?
Aside from the fact that Lewis is supposed to be overweight, there aren't too many deviations from the plot of the book, which was written by John Bellairs. Come to think of it, a lot of movies do that where they take chubby kids in literature and they slim them down for the movie. Harry Potter was chubby as a kid in the first book. I remember reading that, but whatever. Louis Barneveld is a lonely 10-year-old who loses his parents in one of the biggest plagues for families in movies, car accidents. Louis is then taken in by his estranged uncle, Jonathan Barneveld, and meets Jonathan's neighbor, Florence Zimmerman. After discovering magic is real, Louis takes up the craft and begins to find comfort in his new family. But this new trade comes with a dangerous mission to locate a clock, counting down to something ominous. Can Louis balance the insecurities of being a 10-year-old with the responsibilities of being a warlock? Yes, he can.
Film's main stars are Jack Black, Cate Blanchett, Owen Vaccaro, Sonny Corrigan, and the film is directed by Eli Roth, a director who I personally haven't really liked his work till now.
So this video is actually going to be more true to the form of the usual post-popcorn picks, because I can tell we're going to disagree here, Vic. Anyone who knows me knows that my sense of direction is as bad as my memory. I had to track down my car after the movie, and my friend and I walked for a good while trying to pin this car down. There were twists and turns, and I'm tempted to talk about that instead of the movie, because The House with a Clock in Its Walls had none of that. The film is rather awkward at times. There were scenes that were obviously meant to be funny that were met with either crickets or mutters of confusion in the theater I watched the movie in. There were also some lines that were oddly sexual and really stuck out in the movie. This is a kid's movie. My friend and I had no idea what was going on there. I feel like no one looked the script over by Kripke. He just kind of was left to his own devices.
I personally just thought the film, it just kind of at times it felt predictable, but that was okay with me. I don't expect too much from a kid's film. I thought the script was really well written. It did a good job providing context and giving information to the audience without oversaturating them with information. Eli Roth, someone who I not really like as a director. His films aren't really that great. He pretty much makes a lot of horror films that have really bad actors, really bad scripts, but really cool kills. And this film, since it's a PG kids film, he can't do all those cool kills, so he mainly focuses on the story and the good acting. This film is a kids horror movie, so looking back on it now, I think it does its justice. I mean, I think there is some imagery in there and some jokes that kids just won't understand. PG rating, watching this movie, I thought just at the end of it, I was that felt like such a PG-13 rating, which, I mean, if there's a strong PG movie, this is it. I mean, I'm honestly really curious how the studio got it that low. And I think one of the reasons why I like this movie so much is because my expectations going into it were so low. The trailers did not captivate me at all. It just looked like a really dumb, wannabe Goosebumps, wannabe Harry Potter film. And then watching, I was that was actually way better than I thought it would be.
See, I read the book, and like anybody who reads the book going into the movie, I went in expecting to be disappointed, and I kind of was in a little bit. I will say though, as far as books go, like I mentioned earlier, they hold true to the format of the book for the most part. It's actually kind of impressive because a lot of people will watch a Lord of the Rings movie or a Harry Potter movie, and they'll notice that there are obvious differences between the books and the films. This one doesn't have too many differences. I think it's just because of the way it was presented to me. It was such a dissonance between what I had thought of in my head when I was reading it, and it caused a bit of a conflict for me. But all in all, it wasn't too bad, but it's certainly it's nothing I'd ever subject myself to watching again. So I'd have to give it a 2 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I'd probably give it maybe a 3 out of 5. The only time I'd ever see this film again is if I was bringing a family member or bringing a friend to go see it.
Why would you subject a family member to this?
I think they would really like it. Join us next week when we review the new Sony film, Venom.
Yeah, it's sure to be great.